Because listening in your spiritual walk is actually harder. Because you're listening kind of internally, because the Holy Spirit's in you. So you're listening internally and having to sift through all the me to see what the Holy Spirit is truly saying. Because there's lots of things that I think internally that I'm just like, I want this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But that's not the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And you have to learn the difference as you're actively listening.
Yeah, and I find that the Holy Spirit's voice is very quiet. It's a whisper.
Yep.
And
He's not going to shout over you.
No. And the enemy, like, sometimes will whisper lies, but usually the enemy's screaming at you. The enemy's really loud. Your flesh is really loud, but the
Bible
Holy Spirit,
describes him as a roaring lion.
yeah, like a roaring lion. Yeah, but the Holy Spirit, like, usually it's that still quiet voice.
Yeah.
And you have to be listening closely or you're gonna miss it. And it's hard because we live in a society where our attention spans are so short now. And we get these hits of dopamine from social media, looking at these notifications and stuff. And like, there's an addiction to social media that is it's not healthy at all. And it's made our attention span so short that it's hard to sit in silence and listen for what the Holy Spirit is saying. And so when you pray, you say, Holy Spirit, teach me the fear of the Lord. You have to actually wait for him to answer. And you have to learn from him. So that means you're taking what he says and you're putting it into practice. You're not just listening, hearing him, and then going and doing the opposite or continuing what you're doing. You're listening and you're putting it into practice.
That's actually brings something else into my mind. That's a great tool for when you're spending time with the Lord. Silence is okay. Like, in general, silence is okay.
Right.
You don't need to necessarily fill that silence in the conversation while somebody is trying to think of the next thing. You don't need to go on to your next thought. You don't need to listen for gaps to speak. And so when we're spending time with the Lord, a lot of the times, I know I personally can get really wrapped up in, let me turn on this worship music so I can truly focus in on the Lord.
You don't need it.
You don't need it. You can sit there in complete silence. And at that point, when you're not filling it with everything else, that still small voice seems quite a bit louder.